What is going on, everyone? It is Chris here, and welcome back to our weekly recap. So, today we're going to be going over some trades that we recently took. I've decided to take 5 trades instead of going over the whole thing because, as you can see, the log is pretty large. So this week we did a lot of SPX, SPY. I was pretty busy, so a little bit of lack of alerts here. And then we did close our 2 leap positions. I still have a few runners on our PG position, but we'll go over that in just a second. We're going to cover that one too. So all these ones are the ones that we're going to cover. So starting with our first trade of the week that I want to cover at least is NVIDIA 177.5 calls. So in this one, I like to use a conjunction of indicators for my trades, right? And this is usually not a ticker that I'm trading. I'm usually trading SPX, SPY, and ES, right? So on this one, I do see a large amount of buy volume in this area right here at 163.87 on May 12th. And we are seeing NVIDIA retest. We enter NVIDIA right here at 8:35, and we do not see profits until basically the next day. But what I am seeing on NVIDIA overall, right, is we are seeing some sort of accumulation into this area. We did see a large sell-off, right, after the top, and we're seeing some sort of, back and forth, chop. And so I'm expecting sort of a move to the upside. You can't really just guess in trading because obviously we just go right back down. But this is a large amount of volume area, and then we also are having some support up here. So I think we are going to retest, and then as well as a gap fill that just happened, we rejected. So I was kind of expecting it. It looked like a perfect sort of setup to me. Unfortunately, we do not see green until the next day, like I said, and we just hold this one until the next morning because we do have time. We bought about 2 weeks of time on this one, so we had until basically the end of the month to sell this trade. And so we ended up getting, what was it, on NVIDIA, we got 132%, and it went even higher. It went to like 16 bucks, but we closed that early. The next trade I want to go over is our SPY 385 puts. I decided to circle all the trades this week so it's easier to see, but we basically are getting in off of this short signal off the Wolf Algo. It's a confirmed signal as our 100 is below our 200. I mean, that's kind of all there is to say about the trade. We are below VWAP right here when we enter the trade, and then this one goes into 112% profits. Where'd this go? So after the retest on VWAP, obviously we're in the red off of the rest of our position, but we are expecting a huge sell-off into the rest of the day as we are seeing weakness. You have to short these bounces until you actually see some incredible strength in the market like this, right? And so we just hold the runners, and then during this sort of chop right in here is where we're selling the rest of those runners at 112%. The next trade I want to go over is our SPX 4090 calls. So on this trade, we again are getting off of the algo a signal, and this is confirmed on our 100 and our 200, right? A little bit of chopping in the day right here, right? We didn't have very big movement like we did in the earlier parts of the day, but we do see that long signal confirm. I waited for a retest right in here on the 1 minute. I don't really want to scroll back, but this did retest on our 1 minute 90 MA, which was perfect entry just on a smaller time frame for SPX. Boom, already in profits off of the next few candles. And then into the end of the day, we see this chop, which is not very fun. So when you see SPX in the green, usually I'm just selling as fast as I can at 20% because that thing can just go from 20% to 20% down. In a matter of seconds off of a candle like this, $5 candle into the close, you're dead, especially when you have out of the money options on this thing. It's risky, but it is fun when you're making profits. And as you can see, we are usually making profits on this one. So that's all for that trade. All we did was just do the long signal because it's confirmed on 100 and 200. Boom, profits. So the last few that I want to go over here are our SPX 3950 calls. Let's see where this one is. So on this one, not off the algo, not off anything. I was seeing some strength on SPY on the 19th, right? So after this huge sell-off that took place on the 18th, and then we did see, the sideways and upward movement on the 16th and the 17th, we are finally seeing a choppy sideways day, which is expected. You always have to have one of those days in the market, when you're going to have some chop upside, downside. We're seeing this range trading, and I'm actually looking at some strength in here. I know we're going to have very volatile moves very quickly. For example, this one went from 3891 to 3925, which is basically a $30 or $35 move in a matter of, what is that, 8 minutes there. But on this trade, we are seeing a break above our VWAP. Last time we tested, we rejected again, we actually faked out. We rejected again here, and now I'm seeing, eventually we are going to break out of this VWAP. and I do see some chops. So this is where actually I originally loaded. Literally the first candle after we loaded, we're in just heavy loss already. We see some chop. I add on these dips right in here, and then we also add on this dip here at $1. So our initial entry on this one, where is this? This was at 2.1. Again, volatile contracts, this went to 0.95. That's where we were adding, and then this one just skyrocketed for the rest of the day. The reasoning for this trade though is just VWAP strength. We're seeing chop. This was a horrible entry on my part. We should have been entering here or off of this just push to the downside, because this is not a true move. Like, we do have the trend line right here, but ignore that. Like, it doesn't really matter. This is not going to be a true move off of the VWAP. You're seeing strength in here. There's actual buyers. This is just, accumulation for that move. They just fake you out and then they just push to the upside, and then again chop, push to the upside. At here we were already like fully out though, just so you guys know. We were not holding up here. That's just too risky to hold after we're seeing such a violent move to the upside. But now the last two trades I want to cover are just our leaps position. We closed our SPY 420 puts this week, which was probably the best trade I've made for the entire year, because I basically said in my alert, this market is about to crash. We're gonna time the top right here, and that was on March 29th. I mean, if you want to back test where I actually said that, or fact check it, feel free to do so. Just type in 420 put into the channel that I'm alerting in. But we called the top on the 29th, and then since then I've been waiting for that 1000% gain, and we finally got it on Friday. We had a 17.7% drop, and the funniest part is we called it to the expiration date also. We got May 20th expiry, and it hit our 1000% on May 20th, and that's just, hugely out of the money, right? It's at 420, which is basically all the way up here, 4,200 on SPY. So we're completely fine on those. Those went from 3.5 to 39. Amazing trade. Again, only one runner at that point. Obviously, I'm not going to be holding a huge amount of contracts after we hit hundreds of percents. But that was that SPY trade. Very fun. Our last trade was our PG. On this one, we had a bag hold so hard. I thought PG was actually having relative weakness to the rest of the market. Usually when we're seeing this sort of consolidation at the top, similar to Tesla, when we saw that consolidation at the top near 1,000, 1,200, we see this range trading, and then we're going to see an initial move to the downside, which is going to be our fake out move. They're going to buy that up super quickly. The dip buyers, Wall Street bets type stuff, they buy the dip, it pushes back up, they think they're still in a bull market, and then it just finally dies, right? So we added here. I was kind of thinking, okay, this is our retest sort of spot. You have lots of good supply zones in through here. Unfortunately, pushed to the upside, very unexpected, almost a new all-time high. We held that super easy. We're down like 60%. We had tons of time until June 17th, and then finally this thing just absolutely dropped in the last 2 days, or last 3 days actually, and this is when we're scaling in through here after we break this zone right here. I didn't have to scale anywhere in here because I knew after we see this day, they're going to easily push it below 143. They're not going to have this candle, and then they're just not going to sell the next few days, right? That's kind of unreasonable. But yeah, that was that trade. 125%, very nice. So that was a recap of this week, and the leaps as well as the day trades. Hopefully that helps. Again, about 3 of them or 2 of them were off of Wolf Algo, and then the other ones I'm obviously just using my brain for them. So hopefully that helps. I'll see you guys next week, but feel free to DM me on Discord and ask me any questions if you have any. See you guys next week, guys. Peace.